We are back with another mystery envelope challenge, and I actually sent the envelope this month. I said, Happy March, ladies. This month's envelope has 6x6 DSP paper. So I have 4 pieces of the 6x6 DSP here. It was 12 by 12. I trimmed it down. And smaller, 6x6 and smaller. So I have a few little scraps here too. This is the Bloom Impressions DSP paper. The challenge is to create a scrapbook layout using the small papers. You could use this as background papers, embellishments, whatever else you can think of. In the envelope, you'll find some pink scalloped ribbon, some yellow satin ribbon, and some double-stitched ribbon. And then the Bloom Impressions DSP, and my all-time favorite, antique pearls. Use anything from your stash to help you create a fantastic layout. Happy crafting, Cami. Let's get this all cleaned up here, and I will bring out both of my Versamats. This is going to be a double-page layout, and we'll get started. I have some white cardstock out as my base, but I'm not sure that I want to keep that as my base or if I want to do a frame style layout. These were the 6x6 pieces, and I cut those 4x5 so that they could hold 3x4 photos. And then these are the cutoff pieces, and I'm actually picturing a larger photo here, maybe 4x6, and then having these come out from behind. To give these a little more texture and something a little more fun and different, I am going to tear off the bottom. So I'm just going to, and I didn't cut these long enough to tear drastically, so I'm just doing a little bit. And then I think I'm going to rough that up and then ink around it and kind of get the ink up on there so it looks even rougher. So it just adds a little more texture than having that solid rectangle there. And I am using the floral side. Some of the sides have kind of that wash look, but I'm using the florals on this side, and then I'm going to bring in some of those more washed papers into this side. So I wanted to do a larger photo here and then have these coming out from behind it, and I thought of dovetailing them to do like banners coming out, but since I'm tearing these, I'm just going to tear these too. And I might need to trim them down just a little bit more depending on, I'm going to find what I want for my photo mat, but I don't know. I want them kind of different lengths and staggered. I don't think I want thick, thin, thick, thin. I think that would look too symmetrical, so maybe doing something like that, or not quite sure how I want it to look yet. I've inked around all of my pieces, and I decided I do want to do a frame style. I actually started with this dark pink floral piece, but once I laid these other pieces on, it was just way too busy. Too much floral, too much pink. There's a lot of pink in all of these patterns. So then the back side of this purple flower is this purple wash. So I put that one behind, and I think I like that. I think it's solid enough. And then this I cut from another, I have another paper pack of that, so that I cut out of there. So that's the only yellow, but it brings in the yellow from this side. And I'm not quite sure how I want these yet. If I want kind of maybe something like that. And then I've also inked around all of these pieces. So then I didn't know what length I wanted them yet, but I'm thinking having them line up like that and maybe overlap a little bit. Something like that. I'm going to cut out the center of this purple. There's no sense in wasting all of that. So I'll use my rail trimmer, and I think I want an inch frame. So we'll cut it at about 1.5 inches to leave room for adhesive. So then I just want to make sure that if I have an inch frame, that this has room. And I think it will. It'll look something like that. Okay, so I'm going to cut those apart and maybe start placing some of these down off camera. I was about to bring in my beautiful butterfly stamps. This was part of the celebration, but if it's still available, I'll have it linked below. So I think there were dies that came with this too, but not with the celebration set. So it's just the photopolymer stamps, but look at how large this one is. I know I want to bring in the butterflies, but as I was looking at this, I feel like maybe this should be on this side and have this one over here. So I might flip those around and kind of have my focal photo here with the banners coming out this way, and then have these ones on this side. And then I'm going to stamp out some of these butterflies, maybe on white using some of my inks. I'm not quite sure, or maybe stamp them on some pattern paper. I might try the pattern paper first, see what it looks like. I'm just going to play around a little bit and I'll be back to show you what I come up with. To go on my layout, I created these little butterflies and I did them with 2 different ink colors on each. Let me show you how I did that. I'm going to use this big butterfly this time, and I need to find a piece of paper. Okay, so I have some white cardstock and I'm going to use my Misty just to make sure that I get a good impression. I can go over it a couple times. So I have my ink pads here and I'm just using close to my heart ink because I don't have all the colors in my Stampin' Up. So I have some Bluebird, some Peach, Paprika, and Sundance. The one that I really liked was the Sundance and Paprika. So let's start with that one first, but I might do a few more of the other colors too. So I'm gonna start with the Sundance first. Okay, so I'm starting with my Sundance and I'm just gonna go over the top 2 wings and kind of into his body. His body could be a different color, but I'm keeping it simple. And then I'm just kind of going down a little bit onto that second portion. And then we'll bring in that Paprika. I don't want to get my Paprika ink into my Sundance, so that's why I'm using different foam daubers here. And then we'll just start heavy on the bottom, and then I'm not going to re-ink, and I'm just going to kind of go into that top portion. Let's try that. We can always ink it again. So when using a Misty, you want to make sure that it's in the corner good, and then you can go ahead and stamp that. This one's getting on that magnet, so hopefully that's okay. Oh, it wasn't okay. Let's just take him off. Let's try that again. So making sure that that is in the corner. Now that bottom portion should stamp. Okay, that is super light. It's very pretty, but it's super light. So let's just go over that again. Spin this around for you. Okay, so we're starting with the Sundance. And I do pounce it on. If you rub it, you kind of get a streaky impression, which if that's what you're going for, that is fine, but I like to pounce it on. And then we'll go in with our Paprika, again sticking to the bottom first, and then kind of working our way up to that center. There, that is much better. I want to get just a little more yellow right here. So that would be this side on the inside. So I'm just gonna go in with my yellow and right here. Make sure that's centered though, because we didn't clean it off. There we go. Look at that impression. I love it. Now and you can kind of see like my pouncing texture, but I don't mind that. It almost adds like a glistening kind of effect. If I were to rub it on, it would be streaky. So I'm going to fussy cut this out just with my micro tip scissors. I believe I will check and have it linked down below. Pretty sure this one comes with some die cuts too. This is gonna look so good on our layout. Oh, fly away there. I just remembered that I had a Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Spot in one of my card kits. So I'm going to bring that in and maybe some Bluebird. And I'll do that same technique on another one. Maybe do some more smaller ones. And then I thought the combination of Blackberry Bliss and Peach might also look good. So I'm going to try a few more combinations and then we will get these added to our layout. I got a few more butterflies made. So I did a couple with that blue and purple. Now this one, I used my water brush and I tried to blend the colors together and it kind of made it look blotchy. I don't know. I don't know that I love this one. This one might not get put on my layout, but I do have some other purples and then some other peaches too. So let's go ahead and bring that layout back in. I still have all this ribbon to bring in, and what I typically do with ribbon is add them to tags. So I cut out a peach tag to match my butterflies, and it kind of coordinates with the pink florals. So I'm thinking if I just kind of tuck that behind some of my butterflies, and then this blue kind of matches some of the teals, but not a whole lot. So I don't know if I want to bring that over, or that might be too much pink. So then maybe yellow, but I have this big yellow butterfly here. So maybe I do want the blue. Let's see what it'll look like. So if we just kind of like this. It's really bulky. And then have that there. It's not bad, but it kind of looks random. Let's try the yellow. Could always do a different color tag too. Oops. No. I think I do like the yellow. We'll do yellow there. And I think I'm going to yeah, and that looks pretty good. And I can trim that down a little bit more. There, and then I could do some stamping or something there. And then on this side, I'm wondering maybe a little more peach. Maybe I could, that would tie in kind of that peach color. It doesn't look bad. To add a little dimension to my butterflies, I am going to use my bone folder and just start like on his wing here and just run across so that it arches. Now this might get a little flattened once it's in my album, but it'll add that dimension. So then what I want to do is I'm going to put his body flat, so then I'm looking where it's raised. So like in these areas, I'm going to put some foam tape. 3D dimensionals, I guess is what they're actually called. They're not called the foam tape, so if you're looking for those. And then we'll just peel that off. Now this one was on this side, And for his body then, we're going to use our Barely Art Glue and just run that down his body. So then we'll put his body down first. And there we go. So then over on this one, we'll kind of bend his wings up. Okay. So then the rest, I'm going to do the exact same and just kind of spread them around. For my title, I'm bringing in an unexpected stamp set. This is the Reindeer Memories, originally for the for Christmas, but I got it because of the when, where, what, this date stamp. This could be used anytime. And then I am using Festive Memories for this title. Instead of doing the Festive Memories, we are just going to use Memories and stamp that right down here. We could add other words along with it, like Great Memories or Traditional Memories, whatever, but I am just going to do Memories. Festive Memories might actually work, but we're just going to do Memories. And I'm thinking I'll bring in some more of that paprika color. I need a stamping block. I'm going to flip my Versamat over so that I have the foam. And then I do want to practice first since I'm going to be stamping directly onto my layout. So I have my paprika here. Let me just set that aside. And let's practice first. I do need to mask off the festive, so I have some washi tape here. We'll just mask that off. Okay. Now, I don't really want to waste all this washi tape, so I'm just going to practice with it on. Let that soak in. So now Festive won't be showing, but Memories did stamp really well. And then just to make sure, where'd my layout go, that I like the color and everything, let's bring this back in. We can even go like this. And Memories. I think that'll look good. It ties in the paprika in here. It ties in that little bit of paprika, and then on the other side too. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we need to ink it back up. Make sure we don't have ink on our fingers so we don't transfer it over. Now this time we are for sure going to be pulling this off. Make sure there's no ink on the block so it doesn't get on our layout. And then I'm going to get my head directly over it here so I know I'm straight. And then you just want to give that a moment to soak in. So I'm just going to hold it down for a second. Perfect. We need to add our little antique pearls. So I'm going to add those around my butterflies. I added the antique pearls here and over here. I have some more of these pink dots in my collection and they match pretty well too. So I might actually add, I don't know, they're pretty bold though. Because like that one gets kind of lost there, but if I add a pink one, it's almost too bold. What do y'all think? I think it's too much, so we're not going to add these. False alarm. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you're notified when I post the video of me adding the pictures to this layout. Be sure to check out the playlist on the screen to see how the other Inspiration Collaboration Design Team members used this mystery envelope challenge for their layouts. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and until next time, live a life worth scrapping.